Hello, and welcome to Mandarin Slang Guide, MSG, the Chinese learning podcast that tastes great and probably isn't all that bad for you. I'm Josh Ogden Davis, bringing you the words and perspectives that aren't in your textbook. Last month, I talked about the novel coronavirus, the 新冠病毒, a lot because it was all anyone over here was talking about. And at the time, I didn't realize the extent to which the West kind of just wasn't taking it seriously. So to you, it may have seemed like I was exaggerating or making too big of a deal out of it. But now, as you guys get used to your own new social distancing lifestyles, at least remember that what you're doing now is what we have been doing over here for months, and it's okay. It feels uncomfortable, but it works, it saves lives, and I feel horrible that a lack of leadership and preparation has forced you guys to have to go through all of this as well. But on the bright side, social distancing is teaching us all new ways to interact and stay connected, even when we are stuck at home. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about some of the most common Chinese slang used to talk about the internet and online interactions. So let's jump right in. See how much you can understand from this conversation between myself and Avers.
哎呦，
怎么了？
我刚刷脸书了，好多假新闻。
别看社交媒体啦，都是杠精。
也对，推特上也很多水军。
要么是水军，要么是键盘侠。Now, if you didn't catch all that, don't worry. I wouldn't have caught all of it either if you'd asked me before I made this episode. So we're going to break it down for you, but before we do that, I had a chat with Avers about what life is like now in China, now that the worst of this epidemic seems to be over. Hi, Avers. How are you?
Hi, Josh. I'm great.
Are you still working from home? I haven't seen you in many weeks.
Yeah, I'm still working from home.
How's it going? Are you getting used to it?
You know what? I can't wait to go back to office. I can't believe I'm saying this, but working from home is it's like driving me crazy lately. And I sometimes just might grab my computer and go to a coffee shop and work there and wearing my mask and then come back to my place.
Welcome to the freelance life. But Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? Can you see the sun coming up in the distance? Like, are we getting close to being able to go back to work here?
Yeah, I think I might go back to office shortly after the Qīnwén festival holiday, which is on April 4th.
Oh, that's just a couple weeks from now.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Nice. That's interesting. It seems like the situation, and this sounds like such a planned segue, but it's totally not. But it sounds like the situation in China is getting a lot better at exactly the same time that the situation in the West, and especially in the USA, is just beginning to become very, very serious. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I do actually. I noticed the situation in America right now is like the early February in China.
Yeah, there's so many parallels. It's very scary. Like, people are asking the same questions, like, do masks help, and what should I do, and is this really a big deal, et cetera, et cetera. I'm having deja vu seeing Americans react to this.
Yeah.
You're on Twitter too, right? Like, we've interacted on Twitter before.
Yeah, I'm still on Twitter.
Should we share your Twitter handle in case people want to follow you, or do you want to stay under the radar?
It's at Avers L, capital A, capital L.
Okay, at Avers L, so at AVERSL. So go check it out. If you like Avers on the podcast, send her a message. So if you're on Twitter, you've also been seeing the Americans' reactions on Twitter, because a lot of what I know about what's happening in America is coming from social media, coming from my Facebook, coming from my Twitter. Have you been reading what Americans have been writing about the coronavirus on Twitter?
Yeah, I can only speak for what I saw on my Twitter timeline. So I think people are taking this both seriously and optimistically. Like, they're taking precautions and staying at home, trying not to go out unless it's necessary. But there are still few people who are, ignoring all this. Like, they still somehow believe this whole thing is an overreaction, and I just don't get that.
I just don't get that either, especially because, some people were like that in China at the beginning, right? Like in January, a lot of people were still thinking this might not be that big of a deal. This is an overreaction.
Yeah.
But this has happened already in China. We've seen the lockdowns. We've seen that there's been a lot of deaths from this. We've seen that even the people who don't die could incur what in America would be devastatingly expensive medical care. We've seen the medical systems be overloaded. We've seen this enormous country of China have to reorganize its entire medical system to appropriately face this epidemic. We have seen it. This is no longer a question mark, but people in America are still treating it like a question mark. Like, oh, it's probably not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Like you just saw someone else's house burn down and you're like, oh, that fire is not going to bother us.
Yeah. And a lot of Twitter accounts are like making memes or jokes that is a little bit offensive about this epidemic. And I think the main difference is that back in February, the situation in Wuhan were pretty bad. And every day, all over the news were, pretty heavy news. And sometimes it's way too heavy for us to, to make jokes about it or make memes about it. But I think situation in America right now is still like not that bad as in the situation in Wuhan back then. So that's why I say some people are still like treating this whole social distancing pretty optimistically.
So when you say optimistic, what you mean is they're not taking it seriously enough?
No, I mean, they're like still in a phase like enjoying working from home. Like yeah. Just earlier today, I saw a guy on Twitter who wrote a coronavirus rhapsody.
Okay.
So basically, he took Bohemian Rhapsody and changed the lyrics to make it a song about the coronavirus. And I see a lot of people replying him with videos of themselves singing the new song. And I mean, yeah, maybe it's okay as long as you're enjoying yourself.
It reminds me a lot of all the jokes that we'd seen on Chinese social media when this started. And that does really speak to the way in which this virus is changing our relationship, not only to our work and not only to our ideas of healthcare, but also to our relationship with social media. And so that's what I want to talk with you about today. I want to talk about some of the words that we use to talk about social media and to talk about discourse on social media, so that if you want to have a conversation about social media with your Chinese friends, you can, because you are smart and you wash your hands for 20 seconds, you do social distancing, and you listen to MSG. So bravo to you, good sir and / or madam. So are you ready to go, Avers?
Ready.
Okay, so the first word that we have here is 假新闻. What is 假新闻?
假 is fake and 新闻 is news. So it's, fake news.
It's fake news. It's fake news. It's 假新闻, 假新闻, 假新闻. To me, fake news seems like such an American thing, but is there a lot of fake news happening in China as well?
Yeah, I think usually we would say 谣言, rumors.
Oh, yeah, we've talked about that before, 谣言.
Yeah.
Rumors, usually in a legal sense of this is an untrue piece of, possibly untrue piece of information that if you share with other people, you may be prosecuted for. But so another word for that would also be 假新闻 then, right? Okay. Do you have an example sentence of how people might use 假新闻?
Earlier this year when Kobe died, I said to my friends, 真希望这是一个假新闻.
真希望这是一个假新闻. Okay, so 真, really. 希望, hope. 这是, this is. 一个, a. 假新闻. I really hope this is a fake news. 我真希望这是个假新闻. That's interesting because in English we don't have to say, oh, that's a fake news. We say that is fake news. We don't need to add the article. But in Chinese, you can say 这是一个假新闻. This is a fake news.
Yeah, you can also lose the 一个, just say 真希望这是假新闻.
So you don't have to add the 一个. You can say 这是假新闻 or 这是一个假新闻. Both are okay.
Or 别被假新闻骗了.
别被假新闻骗了. So don't 别, and then indicating the passive voice. 被, 假新闻, fake news. Tricked, 骗了. So don't be tricked by fake news. 别被假新闻骗了. Okay, so that one's pretty straightforward. It's just 假新闻, fake news, 假新闻. So let's move on to the next one. The next one is something that I didn't start seeing until lately, so maybe this is a very new word, but it's 杠精. What is 杠精?
Gangjing is a really fascinating slang. Like, gang is bar. It's not like the kind of bar that you would go in and have a drink. It's a bar that you say, so like the emperor or a government official would sit on a carriage, and four men would like literally put this bar on their shoulders and carry the carriage.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think we call that a litter. So people are holding up this litter by holding onto these bars to keep the litter up and walking the emperor around. So that is a gang.
Yeah. And jīng is ghost.
A bar ghost? What is this?
I think it means contrarian. It refers to people who likes picking a quarrel and just disagree with everything you said, just for the sake of arguing.
Okay. Yeah, contrarian is a good word for that. Some people say that it's a troll, but I always feel like troll doesn't really fit, because a troll maybe doesn't just want to disagree with you. A troll might be trying to lie to you or to insult you to make you angry, whereas a gangjing is someone who seems to have no other joy in life than to contradict you and say that you're wrong. Doesn't matter what you say. A gangjing is going to say, no, you're wrong. Well, actually, this is the truth.
Yeah.
So I still don't quite understand this. So it's like a bar or a rod ghost or a rod spirit. Is that sort of like a rod is something you poke someone with? So it's like someone who's always poking you?
No, if I mention one other slang, you'll be better to understand it. It's called taigang.
Oh, yeah. Taigang. What's that?
It's from a Chinese tradition in Dongbei. Every year on Lantern's Day, they will have this person sit on this carriage, and there will be 4 clowns carrying this bar. And those clowns would, just pick a quarrel with the audience for a dramatic or humorous effect.
Huh.
And that event, that tradition is called Taigang Hui.
Okay.
So it's like a Taigang party.
Is that the tai that means like to pick up or to carry?
Yeah, to pick up, to carry, to lift. Yeah.
Okay. So the rod carriers, the bar carriers are the people who are going around poking fun at people.
Yeah. So Taigang kind of evolves into picking a fight and contradicts people. And so gangjing is like a short version of Taigangjing.
Yeah, and jīng is like spirit, but it can also mean someone who is basically a spirit of that, like someone who is very animated or very dramatic. We can call them a xījing, like a drama spirit, a drama ghost.
Drama queen.
Yeah. So this bar ghost, this rod ghost, is the same sort of meaning of that, right? It's like this is a person who is wholly and completely this thing.
Yes.
Nice. So how would we use gangjing in a sentence?
Well, if you say a gangjing on the internet and you don't want to respond to him, you just want to end this conversation, you could say 我不跟杠精一般见识.
Okay. So 我 me 不 not 跟 with 杠精 contrarian. And what was the last part?
一般见识.
一般见识. Can you break that down for me?
Yeah. 一般 is like, so this whole sentence means like I'm not lowering myself to your level.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could say 我不跟你一般见识. I'm not lowering myself to your level. And 一般 is like, 一般 is
So 一 as in the number 1.
Yeah.
And 班, I think people usually teach 一般 to mean just so-so.
Yeah.
How was the food? Oh, 一般般. It's that one, right? But it has a different meaning here.
Yeah, it has a different meaning. It means alike.
Okay. And then 见识. What is 见识?
见 is like what you say, and 识 is like your thoughts, your opinion.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like your awareness, your outlook.
Mm-hmm.
I pronounced it wrong. It's not 见识, it's 见识.
见识. The 识 doesn't have any tone.
Oh, 见识.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 我不跟杠精一般见识. I not with rod ghosts the same awareness. So I am not the same. I'm not on the same level as a 杠精, so I'm not going to talk with 杠精.
Yeah.
我不跟杠精一般见识. Nice. That was a pretty complex sentence. I'm feeling pretty proud of ourselves right now. So that was 杠精, a contrarian, an internet contrarian. I'm sure this is something that everyone just take a moment right now. Close your eyes. think about a gàng jīng that you have met. Because I know that you have one. Everyone has met a gàng jīng before. All right, moving on. The next one is something that I misinterpreted the first time I heard it, but it's shuǐ jun. What is shuǐ jun?
Shui is water, and jun is army, so water army.
Yeah, so I thought it was Navy. I thought the first time I heard shuǐ jun, I thought they were talking about the Navy.
Yeah. It referred to those people who are hired to post propaganda comments.
Yeah, so sort of paid commenters, people who just sort of watch the internet and then post the party line on any mildly controversial article. Why are these people called shuǐ jun? What does this have to do with the water? I mean, army, I get, right? There's an army of people who are supposed to go out there and do the propaganda. But why shuǐ?
Yeah, once again, it has something to do with another slang. It's called 灌水.
It's called what?
灌水.
灌水. What is 灌水?
灌水means the behavior to post meaningless stuff just to make this online community look more active.
Oh, so what's the guan? Does that mean like a pipe?
灌, like to pour water into something.
Oh, the water pourer.
Yeah. So those people who are paid to 灌水 is called 水军.
Okay. So when you explain it that way, it makes me think that this isn't just a political thing, right? Like maybe a company who wants to make their product look hot could hire some shuǐ jun to go interact with their social media, right?
Yeah.
I think that would be a good job. I think that I should be a shuǐ jun. It seems pretty easy.
No, 水军 is easy, but it's also very underpaid.
I'm underpaid as it is anyway. I mean, if I'm going to be on Twitter all the time, I might as well get paid for it. So that's shuǐ jun. How would you use shuǐ jun in a sentence?
You could say 评论下面都是水军.
评论下面都是水军. So 评论 is the comment on a video or an internet article. 下面 is under. So under the comments, 都是水军. They're all water armies. 评论下面都是水军. Did I get that sentence right?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Now, I owe you a special thank you because I had a different word on this episode before you looked at my notes and said, this word isn't as common as shuǐ jun. I had the word 五毛 on there. And it's similar, this 五毛 is similar to shuǐ jun, but it's also different. What is a 五毛?
I think that is my question for you. I don't even know what 五毛 is. I mean, I saw it before, but I don't know exactly what that is.
Well, I'll tell you what I know then.
Okay.
Generally speaking, it's the same. It's someone who's paid very little to do some commenting on the internet. So 五 is 5, and 毛 usually means hair or fur.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a family name. It's Chairman Mao's family name.
Yeah.
But it's also a unit of money. It's equivalent to roughly 50 cents. Well, it's not equivalent to 50 cents. If, like half of $1 is 50 cents. Half of 1 RMB is 五毛. 5 mao is half of 1 RMB. So these people are called 五毛because apparently they got paid 五毛for commenting on online articles.
Ah.
So in English, I just checked it just now. They're called the 50 cent party. So you may have seen that word before.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a little bit old. I remember hearing about that when I first moved to China. So it seems like 五毛isn't as commonly used anymore. And maybe this is the era of the shuǐ jun.
Yeah, or maybe this is the era of 粉红.
What's a 粉红?
粉红is all those over-patriotic people.
Let me back up a minute. 粉红literally means pink, right?
Yeah.
Like in your textbook, the word 粉红 means pink, and the 红 part of it means red. So modifying red by adding a 粉 before it turns it into pink. And you're saying 红 is the color red is used to describe people who are overly patriotic.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between someone who's overly patriotic and someone who's a 粉红? Why is the 粉 on there?
The word 小粉红 is started on a Chinese forum called Jinjiang. And so the color rate of this website is pink. And most of the users are women, and a lot of them are very patriotic. And then this color pink kind of evolves into a code name for someone who is very patriotic.
Huh. And I want to be clear here. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with being patriotic. I think that it's easy to get carried away. It's easy to lose your common sense. But you just use the word 粉红 as a somewhat synonym for a 五毛 or for a 水军. So these are specifically a 小粉红 is someone who is always posting overly patriotic things online.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming they don't get paid for it, right? It seems like it's just their hobby.
Yeah, this is just how they are. They don't get paid by it.
Yeah. I see a huge divide between people on Twitter as well. Watching Chinese Twitter for the last few months has been fascinating. And when I say Chinese Twitter, I don't mean Weibo. I mean like the Chinese communities on Twitter. There are people from the mainland. There are a lot of Chinese officials are signing up for Twitter. There are Chinese of the diaspora, which is Chinese ethnicity people around the world. And there are also 水军 and 五毛 and also 小粉红 as well. And it's all happening on Twitter, which is blocked on the mainland. It's absolutely fascinating to watch.
Yeah, I just unfollow or block anyone whenever I saw 五毛 or 小粉红.
That's probably best for your mental health.
Yeah.
So how do people usually use 小粉红?
You could say 微博上全是小粉红.
微博上全是小粉红. So Weibo is Weibo. It's the Chinese Twitter-like service. 全是 all are. 全是 they are all 小粉红, little pinks. So everyone on Weibo are all little pinks.
I think people on Weibo are going to be really mad at me if they listen to this episode.
Okay, so that's 水军, the water army, the fake posters, the 五毛, the 50 centers, who are also paid to do comments, and the 小粉红, the people who are just, it doesn't matter what you post, they're going to post a patriotic meme after it. And if you say anything bad about your government, they're going to come at you. Let's move on to the next one. And the next one is one that I have heard for a while and I still hear, and I think it's hilarious, and it's 键盘侠. What is a 键盘侠?
键盘 is a keyboard. And 侠 is the same 侠 as in 蜘蛛侠, Spider-Man. So I guess 键盘侠 is keyboard man.
Keyboard man or keyboard woman.
Yeah, it refers to those people who are opinionated and self-righteous, and they post comments on everything. So like their superpower is typing on the keyboard. So we are calling them keyboard men.
I want to be honest. Hearing you describe that, I realized that I sometimes am a 键盘侠.
Really?
And I only do it. Yeah, especially lately, I've posted a few things on Facebook about the coronavirus and how we really need to hold our leaders in America to a much higher standard. And people have given me some pushback, which I haven't understood at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I have typed messages that are much longer than they maybe should have been to reply to these people with this sort of righteous indignation of, we all know that the response in the States was horrible, and it continues to be super not great. And somehow I feel like me finding the choicest metaphors is going to be the thing that turns the tide. I'm seeing myself as a 键盘侠. So I want to break this down a little bit. So 键盘 means keyboard, and that's in terms of, just like in English, that is a computer keyboard and also like a piano keyboard. Literally key plate. 键 meaning key and 盘 meaning plate, basically. So a plate full of keys. And 侠 is used not only for Spider-Man, there's also, like, Batman is a 侠, right?
Yeah, or Iron Man, 钢铁侠.
钢铁侠, literally iron 侠.
Yeah.
And Batman is 蝙蝠侠, bat 侠. So what is this 侠? Where did that come from?
I think it comes from 武侠小说, like 侠 means swordsman.
So those are like the martial arts books. 武侠小说, 小说 being novel. So those are the Chinese like kung fu novels, is the 武侠小说.
Yeah.
Cool. So this word actually, we use it for all the Western or most of the Western superheroes, but it's actually been used for heroes in Chinese stories for a long, long time. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So how would we use 键盘侠?
没想到你是个键盘侠.
没想到你是个键盘侠. So can you break that down for me?
Yeah, 没 is like haven't, and 想到, 想 think, and 到 is like to an extent. you are 键盘侠 as in keyboard man. So I didn't know you are a keyboard man.
So I'm assuming you would say this to someone sort of out of exasperation, like, I can't believe you're a keyboard man. I'm so disappointed. Because it's like an insult, right?
It is, yeah, a little bit offensive.
Ooh. All right. So don't call someone a 键盘侠. But once again, just close your eyes and think about who you know in your life who is a 键盘侠. Think about a moment in your past when maybe you, dear listener, were a 键盘侠. Hey, we've all been there. But anyway, so that's 键盘侠, keyboard hero. You're a keyboard hero. Not a real hero, just a keyboard hero. And that's our last word. So let's review these words one more time, and then we'll jump right back into that conversation and see how much more of it you understand this time. All right, so first word was fake news. And how do you say fake news in Chinese?
假新闻.
假新闻. 都是假新闻. It's all fake news. 假新闻. Then we have a contrarian, an internet contrarian, and they are called
杠精.
杠精, a stick spirit, kind of, I guess. Then we have paid commenters, or paid propagandists, and they are called
水军.
水军, the water army, or we can call them 五毛, the 50-cent army. But if you're not getting paid for it, you're just constantly posting patriotic material because that's your jam and that's how you get down, then what are you?
粉红.
粉红 or 小粉红, a little pink. And then if you are, like me, the person who often convinces yourself that you can use your incredible powers of typing on social media to save the world with your invaluable and infallible opinions perfectly expressed, then you are a
键盘侠.
键盘侠, a keyboard hero. Excellent. All right, so armed with these words, let's dive back into the conversation. Avers, last time you started, do you want to start again, or do you want me to start this time?
You'll start.
Okay. I get to say my favorite expression in Chinese. 哎呦,
怎么了?
我刚刷脸书了,好多假新闻。
别看社交媒体了,都是杠精。
也对,推特上也很多水军。
要么是水军,要么是键盘侠。
Nice. All right, let's break this down. The first sentence was...
哎呀.
Yeah, and you know what that means for two reasons. First, because I write it into almost all of my conversations these days because I just love saying it. And second, because it is exactly what it sounds like. It sounds like exasperation, desperation. Yeah. And the second sentence was...
怎么了?
怎么了? What's up? Or what's happening? 怎么了? What's the deal? And then the next one was...
我刚刷脸书了,好多假新闻.
Yeah, 我刚刷脸书了,好多假新闻. So 我, me, 刚 means just now. And then 刷, this 刷 we've talked about before, right? What does this 刷 mean?
刷 means to browse or to look at. It's the same 刷 as in 刷弹幕.
Yeah, 刷弹幕 or 刷屏. Just means it can mean to either send a lot of comments or it can mean to just sort of scroll through your feed on your phone. But we're not 刷弹幕 and we're not 刷屏 right now. We are 刷脸书. What's 脸书?
脸书 is a literal translation of Facebook. So 脸 is face and 书 is book.
I love this so much. I can't believe I jokingly translated Facebook as 脸书 one time. I thought it was a great joke, and much to my surprise, that's what people call it.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But usually people just call it Facebook or FB for some reason. But 脸书 is also an option. And then 好多假新闻. 好多 is a lot, so much. There is so much 假新闻, fake news. So I was just scrolling on Facebook and there's so much fake news. 我刚刷脸书了,好多假新闻. And the next one was...
别看社交媒体了,都是杠精.
Yes, this may be the wisest piece of information on any episode of MSG. 别看社交媒体了,都是杠精. So, 别看 don't look at, don't see. 社交媒体. This is social media. So 社交, the 社 stands for society, and 交 means exchange. So this is the social part of social media. And then 媒体 is media, and it comes from, it's just a transliteration of the word media, 媒体. 别看社交媒体啦. So don't look at social media because 都是杠精. 都 all 是 are 杠精 stick spirits. 别看社交媒体了，都是杠精. Everyone on social media is just a contrarian. Leave them alone. And the next sentence was?
也对，推特上也很多水军。
也对. So this is 也 means also, and 对 means correct. This is a hard one to translate because 也对, I always interpret that as meaning like,
yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I hadn't considered that before, but that's right. So the 也 is almost like a filler, indicating that you're just sort of, yeah, I guess that's right. Yeah. 也对. Yeah. And then 推特上也很多水军. So what's 推特? What's that?
Twitter.
Yeah, another transliterated word. You know, I'm almost sad that Twitter gets a transliteration like 推特, but Facebook doesn't. Facebook.
No, Facebook has a interesting translation called 非死不可. 非 like you have.
My wildest dream has come true.
Yeah. 非死不可 together means you have to die.
How does it possibly mean that? 非死不可.
Yeah, 非 means like or else, this or the other. And 死 means death. 不 means no. And 可 means yes. So yes, you have to die.
Oh, okay. 非死不可 means if you don't die, that's not acceptable. So you must die.
Yeah, because the algorithm of Facebook is pretty strong. You can track down to a lot of your old acquaintances and your old classmates, and people will get to see a lot of your like 黑历史.
黑历史, your black history, which means something very different in America. But black, the word 黑 in Chinese is often used to mean undesirable or not legitimate. And then 历史 is history, yeah.
Yeah, something you don't want people to say because it is embarrassing from your teenage time.
Yeah, so that's Facebook, but 推特 is Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay. 推特上也很多水军. So 推特上 being on, so on Twitter, 也很多, also so many 水军 water armies or fake posters. So 也对哦, 推特上也很多水军. That's right, yeah, on Twitter there's a lot of fake posts as well. And you said?
要么是水军，要么是键盘侠.
要么是水军，要么是键盘侠. This 要么 something something something, 要么 something 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 is something that you would learn in Chinese class, right? How would you explain that?
It's either this or that.
Yeah, so 要么是水军，要么是键盘侠. So, yeah, they're either water armies or they are keyboard heroes.
Yeah.
So everyone on Twitter or Facebook is either being paid to disinform you, or they are just sort of ranting because that's how they feel they can save the world. 要么是水军，要么是键盘侠. Either they are water army or they are keyboard heroes. So this conversation really encapsulates my feelings towards social media lately. I mean, it's been unbearable since the beginning, but the last few weeks have been incredibly painful. Have you felt that way?
Yeah, I felt like when I'm on Twitter and when I'm on Weibo, it's like totally two different worlds.
Tell me more.
Yeah. Okay. If you're a big Weibo fan, you're gonna be furious. I think there's too much positive energy. I'm not saying positive energy is wrong, but I think people are always think for the best when they're on Weibo. And because, let me put it this way, I think Twitter is really focusing on the facts and numbers, and you can talk freely and express whatever you think. And Weibo is whenever you start to get serious, you got 和谐.
Oh, you get 和谐, you get harmonized.
Yeah. And a lot of my friends' Weibo account were banned because they were sharing facts about the coronavirus and the real situation in Wuhan. And their Weibo account was banned forever.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I'm not a big fan of Weibo.
Too many 小粉红.
Yeah. And I just remember one of the reasons why they call Facebook Facebook, because at the very beginning, Facebook is like available in China. Like you can go register, you don't need a VPN or stuff. But now it's completely banned, and you have to get on a VPN to access Facebook. And that's called Facebook is an app that is going to be dead, like Facebook. Yeah.
I don't think that losing the Chinese market will kill Facebook. Facebook seems to be doing just fine on profits it makes by selling your personal information. But that's neither here nor there. Let's bring it back and do this conversation one more time. Do you want to be A or B this time?
A.
Okay, take it away.
哎呀，
怎么了？
我刚刷脸书了，好多假新闻。
别看社交媒体了，都是杠精。
也对，推特上也很多水军。
要么是水军，要么是键盘侠。All right. Well, thank you from taking a break from working at home and 刷推特 to talk with me for another wonderful hour.
Wait, an hour?
Yeah, we've been recording for 57 minutes and 55, 56, 57 seconds. That's how much fun we have here at MSG, and how much fun is not fit to print. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Thank you so much, Avers, and I hope you have a great evening.
You're welcome. Thank you. You too.
That's all the MSG we have for you today. If you have any questions or want some flashcards, find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Just search for Mandarin Slang Guide. If you want to get in touch or join the WeChat group with all the other MSGers, then add our WeChat. It's MSG Podcast, all one word, lowercase, MSG Podcast. Thanks to Avers for being the best possible regular guest. And thanks to Himalaya for being not only a great place to listen to podcasts, but also a great place to host your podcast for free. Himalaya, a podcast today keeps the gàng away. A very special thank you this week goes out to the jiànpán xia. Thank you guys for keeping us safe out there with all the, all the comments that you're posting. And last but not least, thank you to you, the listener, for listening. I love it when you listen to this podcast. So keep in touch, wash your hands for 20 seconds, don't touch your face, and 再见, 再会, 再聊. Bye-bye.